Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. Brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware at 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, New York. Serving the entire New York, New Jersey, Connecticut tri-state area with everything you need this upcoming winter to make sure your home or business is free of snow and ice. And they are Long Island's largest rock salt source, along with having all of the great snow and ice melt products. Maybe you want a new snowblower, or maybe you just need some general supplies to make sure everything is working smoothly this winter in case there's a storm. 631-756-1125, the phone number. Website is omnitruevalue.com. And we are looking at, I love these gloom and doom scenarios that set up weather-wise. In some ways, they're kind of easy. You just got a ton of moisture. You watch it flow up to the northeast, and just have to unfortunately sit there and wait for enough dry air to come back in at some point, but none of that's happening today. Just a ton of moisture from the southern plains all the way up the east coast, except for Florida. And we've got rain. We've seen some showery rain so far. There's some more that have developed on the radar as of 1:40 Eastern Time. You see them here, and they extend up into upstate New York and now moving their way through central and into northern New England. And there's also some more showers back through West Virginia and southern Kentucky, eastern Tennessee, western Virginia, moving to the northeast. And those are destined to move through tonight. There's a break in between. There have been some breaks in the rain, so it's not raining continuous, and that's a plus. Meanwhile, we've got some precipitation, rain and snow across Wisconsin into Michigan, mostly snow as you get up north into Minnesota. And we're going to start watching the west because another storm system will into the western part of the United States. So we are basically looking at a rainfall amounts of about a half to three-quarters of an inch with this particular system for today into Wednesday morning. I think that's when we'll start to see rain move out to the northeast and a cold front finally moving through. This front is literally moving at a snail's pace. The next round of precipitation is going to be coming out of the southern plains in the middle Mississippi Valley. And as we move through Friday, you see the area in the lower Great Lakes and also in the Ohio Valley. And then it just basically falls apart. WPC is only showing maybe a few hundredths to at most a tenth of an inch of precip in parts of south central PA down into Maryland and into Delaware. And some areas, by the way, especially in central PA and southwestern New York, especially where there's elevation, probably going to be snow in that mix. And also, you see some more precip breaking out in the lower Mississippi Valley and southern plains. That eventually just kind of drops down into the Gulf states. And we then get at least a bit of a break before something more important precip wise probably comes later next week. And as far as snow is concerned, the probability for at least 2 inches in the next 72 hours is virtually non-existent in the east. In fact, it is non-existent, I should say, in the eastern part of the United States. Nothing as far as snow is concerned. And you see that there is action going on out in the west. In the long range, WPC does have this area here, a 10 to 30% chance of at least a quarter of an inch of melted snow and ice throughout much of central and western Pennsylvania and southwestern New York. This would be from sometime from Friday morning into Saturday morning. And then, of course, after that, it's gone, and we don't see anything showing up in the long range going into Monday and Tuesday, except for what you see up there in the Northern Plains and over in western Great Lakes. So at this stage of the game, folks, it's really about getting this weather front to just get out of the way, and maybe we could start to see some slow improvement. There is a cold high that is coming out of Canada and building east across southern Canada. You see it there north of the Great Lakes. That's why this front has really been slow to move. It gets out of here tomorrow. There'll probably be some rain showers tomorrow morning, and then they'll taper off from west to east. Maybe a lingering shower or two to tomorrow afternoon and evening. The front should push in some drier air. I don't know how much clearing we're going to see on Thursday because we are going to be going into wind. And then this low that comes out of the southern plains because of the block can't really go northeast, so it just falls apart and redevelops weakly off the North Carolina coast. This is why you see all that precip basically getting shunted to the south. And interestingly enough, that the European model's been doing this all along, while the GFS was doing all sorts of other strange things. And the European seems to have a really good handle on how things are playing out with this blocking pattern. And then, as far as the weekend is concerned, we're going to continue with a northeast wind. It's going to keep things chilly. It probably be on the raw side. I don't know how much sun we're going to get before the next weather system that you see coming up for Monday. I'm not so sure whether that's going to be real. I think that may be way overdone, and we'll just have to wait for later next week for something more important to move into the eastern part of the United States. As far as temperatures are concerned, the high temperatures today, obviously, we are quite warm, middle to upper 50s, some warm spots near 60. We'll probably do the same again tomorrow. We'll have some leftover highs in the lower and middle 50s on Thursday, probably early in the day. And then we're looking at highs just in the 40s, I think, low and middle 40s for Friday, and possibly just lower 40s in most places on Saturday. Maybe a little bit warmer as you go south, but that northeast wind is going to bring in some of that cold Canadian air, try to southward. Not a lot of it, but just some. Weather in 5 brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware, 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon. 631-756-1125 is the phone number, and the website is omnitruevalue.com. So, Joe and Joe Weather Show tonight. I'm going to be soloing the Joe and Joe Weather Show at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So just mark that down. We also want to just point out very quickly there is a system out in the tropical Atlantic that looks like it might be developing into a subtropical storm, and the National Hurricane Center has acknowledged this. They're talking about a 50% chance of this developing. And this actually, the development of this system has kind of altered things as far as the overall weather pattern is concerned. And we're going to be talking about that tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show again at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. So we'll see you then.